How's it going today, boys? So today we are going to talk about the tendency to get caught up in different methods of training and dieting and the consequences of getting too wrapped up in these approaches. And what I mean here is these methods that kind of uh, give you a narrow path of approach to the way that you go about your health. So these are methods like the paleo, the keto, particular training programs, insanity, whatever you want to talk about here. And we tend to get caught up in these by following lines of reasoning like what is the best or the healthiest or what approach produces the quickest results. And when we follow this line of reasoning, we often make arguments in favor of whatever method suits our personal interests, what we like to do. We choose to emphasize positive aspects of the methods that we like and the negative aspects of the methods we don't like. And this is made worse with salesmen of these methods providing justifications for the methods that they sell. And they're aiming to wrap you up into what they're selling. At the same time, they're trying to make any other method seem untenable. And what this creates are ecosystems of methods, these kind of cults of diets and training programs that are designed to keep you on board and milk you of your resources. Even if you don't contribute funds directly to the cult leaders, your attention and promotion of a method draws others in and amplifies the reach. Right? Even if you see this with like the raw egg stuff. Like there's things to be bought within that, but a lot of that is just creating a kind of brand around some health and lifestyle approach, and then amplifying that through an online community. And when you accept the cult identity of one of these methods, you perpetuate its market. Right? The goal with these methods is less often improving health and more often the creation of a brand identity that garners a profitable following. And so there's two problems with this. One is that they promote one-size-fits-all methods, and these aren't solutions to general health problems that are systemic in nature. They provide some change on an individual level, but we see this massive fitness influencers, like there's never been more, never been more money in the fitness industry, never been more money garnered by these different methods, yet people are still getting fatter, still getting less healthy, more sick. So it's not like these are actually large-scale solutions to health problems. The second problem here is that the eligibility of a given method is premised on how well it's marketed, not how well it works. Whoever can garner the largest market share, the most attention, monopolize the viewership, and produce the most testimonials. That's the one that's going to be promoted as a strong program. The ones that don't have the same level of marketability, the ones that don't have the use at hand of different propaganda techniques and psychological The second problem with the second problem we see here is that the eligibility of a given method is premised on how well it's marketed, not how well it works. You get a lot more validity for the programs and the methods that garner the largest market share, that have the most advertisement, the most testimonials, the ones that monopolize the fitness space, the health space, the best. It's seen as being good because a lot of people are on board with it, not because it's actually producing the best results. So therefore, the adoption of some specific method of diet or training is not the solution to health issues in general. And they don't necessarily provide us with what we need. If we ask ourselves, what do we need? Like, we do need a change. Most people have poor lifestyles. So these methods, they do provide a needed change. And this is necessary, but it's not sufficient. right? These are never going to solve the large scale problems because they're designed to shoehorn you into a brand identity and make it an integral part of your existence. They're not there to sediment lasting change. They just sell you what you want, not what you need. Now, it's fair to use a method as a sort of scaffolding to help develop habits for long-term change, but you should never become a sycophant for such methods. It's easy to get caught up defending your preferred method, but at the end of the day, there's no one-size-fits-all solution, as I said earlier. And the problem here is you're using these, like I said, as a sort of scaffolding, but the work is still on the individual to sediment the long-term change. Right? A program isn't going to sediment the change for you. You still have to build the work on anyways. Oftentimes it's the individuals putting in the work, just being motivated by having something to guide them, not the other way around. And this is why, again, we don't see the fitness industry and all these programming and methods suddenly producing greater health outcomes, healthier people. And when it comes to the whole, brand identity thing, like there's the time and place for adopting an identity and deciding what side you're on and what side you're against. But health and lifestyle, that is not the time or the place. Because you win nothing by positing the brand that you like, the brand of health you like, over and above some other brand of health. And that's the key here. Like, unless you are the influencer selling a method as a product, you're being played to promote another's hustle. And look, if one of these methods works well for you, great. If you want to recommend it to others to help them improve, do it. Just understand there's a difference between something that works for you and something that works for everyone. That there's a difference between being a sycophant for a approach and just being a respecter of an approach. You got to take what you can from these methods, to take what you can to be healthy, but then drop all the branding and marketing and move on. Like, no one has the perfect approach, and you're never going to have it perfect yourself. Because it doesn't really matter if you're 100% dialed in or not. As a human, you just have to make the best of the situation that's present to you. So there's no point in listening to these people endlessly describing diet and training optimizations, because who cares? The question you got to ask yourself is, can you put in the work? And if yes, then it doesn't matter. And then the other thing you can ask is, okay, are you an elite athlete with a career and championships on the line? And if you're not, then why are you wasting your time caught up in diet plans and training methods? You just do what works, make it a habit, and then move on to better things. And I say this as someone who's spent more time studying this stuff than most of the people marketing it to you. You got to use it for what it's worth, and then leave it at that. Like, don't get wrapped up in promoting someone's brand. Like, that's just stupid. And there's nuance here. There are people who have derived legitimate programming and diets that are very effective, but these generally aren't the ones you see advertised to you. And in most cases of the legitimate ones, they are individualized programs designed on an N=1 design for one person based on that person's individual needs. Right? Those are the best programs, are the ones that are designed just for that individual. I've used, for example, Jeff Cavalier's Athlete X programs, and they work. They give you scaffolding. Right? You will progress doing them and following the guidelines that they set out for you. But that doesn't mean you need to become an Athlete X promoter. Don't become the guy arguing in the comments section over the superiority of someone else's method. That's not your job. Like, don't do their work for free. And ask yourself, are these programs good because they're inherently and objectively the best? Or are they good because they guided you into a routine and a lifestyle change and made you work? And it's the same thing for diets. Again, there's degrees of effectiveness. It's not that there's no talent or knowledge that goes into designing these things. But I guarantee you that you can make a terrible program work great just by working harder at it. And at the end of the day, just avoid being a shill for people that want to take your money and your time, and don't build an identity out of someone else's health and lifestyle brand. Like that's what this comes down to. Just don't make it your identity. Don't make someone else's program and how they market it your identity. Because living well isn't something unique to a particular identity. It's just what everyone, as like anyone can do it, and everyone should do it. So you can't make an identity out of living healthy and being fit, right? So that's all I got today. See ya.